I can't believe I just got married to a stranger, Isabella muttered to herself, her eyes wandering from the marriage certificate to the bustling street outside. Isabella sat alone at a corner table in Starbucks, her fingers absent-mindedly tracing the edges of her brand new marriage certificate. It seemed ironic for someone who had just gotten married to be sitting feeling lonelier than before the marriage. One would expect her to be packing her bags to go on her honeymoon. The hum of the city buzzed around her, a stark contrast to the silence that cloaked her heart. She sipped her coffee, each gulp sharper than the last, her thoughts a whirlwind of the past 2 weeks' chaos. The past 2 weeks had been hell for her. Isabella, who is 27 years old, is independent and bright, yet she was burdened by her family's expectations. Isabella faced a daunting ultimatum from her wealthy grandfather to marry within 2 weeks or lose her place in the family inheritance. Isabella had faced the kind of ultimatum that seemed ripped from the pages of a dramatic Korean novel. Her grandfather, a man of considerable wealth and traditional values, had laid down the law not out of malice, but out of a misguided attempt to secure her future. Isabella, fiercely independent yet entangled in her family's expectations, found herself cornered. She was left with no choice but to secure a marriage. Despite her reluctance, the challenge was not driven by greed, but a necessity to secure her future in tough economic times. It was not as if she was not trying to get married. She did try her luck, but her previous relationships have been nothing short of disastrous, leaving her cynical about love. She only attracted cheaters, losers, and jobless men. Knowing Isabella's luck, or lack thereof, with men, Isabella's grandma, Moyo, had plunged into her elite network of friends to find a suitable match for Isabella. Not the drizzle type that wants to be taken care of by a woman, Grandma Moyo had declared, but a hunter, a keeper, and a real provider. Grandma Moyo's old-school friend, Ruth, reveals her grandson, Molefe, was also under similar pressure to get married. Molefe was shackled by family expectations, pressured to marry and step into his role in the family business. Uninterested in the nuances of romance, Molefe had agreed to the marriage on strictly business grounds. "Please, Grandma, let her know it's strictly business," he had told his grandmother, a statement that was both chilling and comforting in its honesty. He was not really interested in dating. Though Molefe was 32 years old, no one had ever seen him with a girlfriend. His first love was his work. All the same, the two grannies from both sides felt Molefe and Isabella were a perfect fit, and they hoped maybe in future they may actually fall in love. Isabella lived with Molefe for 5 days but barely saw him, until the day he left for a business trip to Australia, leaving behind nothing but his debit card for Isabella. "Use it. We're married, after all," he had insisted, before disappearing for what would turn out to be 2 long years. Now, 2 years later, as she sat recalling the surreal sequence of events, Isabella's friends' voices echoed in her memory, advising her to move on. She had indeed moved on in some ways, securing a job as a personal assistant to the CEO of a large manufacturing firm. Yet her marital status remained an unresolved melody, playing softly in the background of her life. Everyone at work knew Isabella was married, but no one had seen her husband. At least she stopped wearing the expensive diamond ring Molefe had given her. Even though her arranged marriage was a business transaction, Isabella found it difficult to get a divorce without seeing Molefe and get closure. She wanted to establish what was really going on in his head. The twist came on a seemingly ordinary Monday, when the company buzzed with the news of a new CEO taking over. Employees lined up, a ceremonial welcome prepared for the mysterious new leader. As the grand entrance doors swung open, Isabella's breath hitched. The man who walked in was familiar, too familiar. Her heart raced as she desperately tried to remember where she knew this guy from. "Where do I know him from?" she whispered to herself. Isabella brushed the thought away, for she hardly knew any handsome, powerful men. Only losers and drizzlers. The new CEO, Mr. Mohale, was introduced to the top secretaries in the company. Josh, Tracy, and Isabella. He was asked to choose from them the person to be his personal assistant. As the trio introduced themselves, he turned down Josh and Tracy. When it was Isabella's turn, he asked, "What did you say your name is again?" Isabella. "What a coincidence," he said. "My wife's name is Isabella too." Mr. Mohale told them he wanted Isabella to be his personal assistant. Isabella's new boss was known to be a very strict man, and all her friends warned her not to try and flirt with him. She would just get herself fired. How could she possibly flirt when she was also a married woman? Look out for part 2. Like, subscribe, and share for more stories.